But for today, I want to talk about two things. And I want to talk about it. I was told to talk about two things. One is thinking with your heart. You know, we have three brains, our head brain, our heart brain, and our gut brain. And so we're going to talk about that. And the second one is about matching your internal frequency. Oh my God, look at this. It looks like I'm like leaning over because my chair is at an angle. That's funny. Okay. Matching your internal vibration to the environment you're in or the work you're in. Because sometimes, no, we'll get into that in a moment. So about the connecting with your hearts, your heart brain, your gut brain, and your head brain. And I was talking with someone about this just today. You know, we've talked about this before. There's an ancient Buddhist saying, a happy man has an empty head and a full belly, which, you know, is a joke, obviously. But when you think about it, a happy man has an empty head and a full belly. This is hitting the three heart centers. And what they're saying is, don't think with this brain. This brain is the one that will mess you up every time. Think with this brain and think with this brain. Fill your belly with inspiration. Raise that inspiration up to your heart. You know, we all do this. When you do something because logically it's a thing you should do, even though it goes against your gut instinct or your heart isn't into it. And then later you're like, I knew better. My gut told me. My gut told me not to do this. Or I wasn't feeling it. I shouldn't have done it. You know, we all have this. So what they're saying is, don't let your brain in your head lead you. Resonate with your gut instinct. Feel with your heart. And then when your heart and your gut are in agreement on something, then bring it to your head brain and say, you figure out how we'll make this happen. We've set the goal. You are the processor. Then your brain will go, that's not really logical. It's not such a good idea. You know, maybe you should do the safe route or whatever. Connect with your heart and your gut. And they're like, no, they resonate that this is the right thing to do. So you, head brain, you're not the boss here. You're the project coordinator. So you figure out how to make this happen. So some examples of that are, I wanted to go to Mexico. I didn't at that time have money to go to Mexico. I didn't know where my passports were because we had just packed and moved. I had no reason to go to Mexico, but I wanted to go. So my gut and my heart told my brain, we want to go to Mexico, figure out a way to make this happen. What happened was a combination of manifestation, because the head brain is great for, like, when you send a wish up from your gut to your heart to your head on out, and everything's in alignment, and the wish floats up out of you, that creates powerful manifestation. So we did some manifestation, but I also found some resources, and then everything fell into place. You know, it's like all the things that you know you need to do in the day. Like in the morning, I need to get up, shower, have breakfast, you know, feed family, go to work, blah, 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 you know, things that have to happen. I can tell you about 90% of what I have to do, my brain will very happily come up with an excuse why I shouldn't do it. You don't have to get out of bed. You don't really need to shower today. You showered yesterday. No one minds how you smell. Your hair looks fine. You know, you don't really need to feed the people you love. They can figure it out. No. My son is not a morning person. I mean, now he feeds himself quite often, but you know what I'm getting at. My brain will very happily trick me into not doing what I need to do. But I know I need to do it. I know I need to get out of bed in the morning. I need to be clean. I need to be fed. I need to do my work. Otherwise, life is not going to function very well. So I tell my head brain, shut up. Don't tell me that this isn't going to work. You figure out how it's going to happen. And then my brain's like, okay, so let's see, why don't today, you need to shower before you have your coffee. No, you hate doing that, but it's what's going to happen if you want to be on your agenda and get this, and that done. And then my brain gets to work and everything happens. So why is it when it's up to the agenda of the world out there on the things that we really don't want to do, but we know we should, when inspiration comes through and it's heartfelt and it's intuitively believed, why is it we let our head psych ourselves out of it? So it's just a bad habit. Honestly, most of us were not trained as children how to properly use our brains. We were not raised in a Buddhist monastery, so we don't know any better. Well, now you do. When you go through your day and you know what your responsibilities are. So don't say, oh, I didn't go to work because Bonita told me to follow my gut instinct and my gut instinct took me to, hiking for the day. That's not what I'm talking about. It's about living your ultimate self, living your ultimate alignment within yourself. If every day you dread going to work, then you definitely got stuff to think about. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I will meet someone. I'll be at an event and there are 3 people I'm talking to. And one person, my gut instinct is screaming at me, do not connect with this person. This person may be fine as a person, but this person is bad news for you. And then the second person I meet, my gut is saying, you want a professional relationship with this person. You and this person will benefit each other professionally. And then the third person, they're like, this is someone you want as your friend. You two have so much in common. You're in sync. You are meant to become friends. So I will listen to my gut. I will be, to the first person, honestly, my head will get in there and go, God, that's kind of arrogant of you to dismiss this entire human being that you haven't even met without giving them a chance. I got to get my head brain out and say, my gut's telling me this person would not be good for me. So therefore I'm polite. I want this person to feel good about their existence on the planet and our meeting, but I'm not going to energetically connect. I'm not going to give that person anything to grab onto because I've learned, listen to my gut instinct, listen to my heart. And then the second person, I'll say, I feel like we have, we might be able to have some project together. And they'll go, oh, I would love that. I just wasn't sure if it was appropriate to bring it up. I'm like, please, when it comes to me, always bring up projects. I love projects. I love doing projects with other people. And then the third person we'll chat with. And then the next thing you know, we're planning on, going to the movies together or joining a meditation circle together or something. So if I let my head get in the way, I would become good friends with the person my gut told me not to get in touch with. My head brain would say, don't push business on this person you don't even know. But because I bring it up, now I have a great business contact and I've got a good friend or a casual friend or someone who just because we are friends, something good happens in our lives. Who knows what? But because I listen to my gut and my heart, and I just let my head do the work of making what my gut and heart tell me is the right thing to do, we go on the right path. And there we are. I hope that makes sense. You guys know how strong your gut instinct is. This is also known as the sacral chakra. It's the chakra that we receive divine inspiration. It's one of the easiest ways for our guides and angels to talk to us. It's also, since especially for women, it's right there near the womb area. It's considered Some people call it a sexual chakra, or they call the root a sexual chakra. I don't really see them. They don't work that way for me, but then, I'm old and work obsessed, so there's no romance in my life anyway. But people like who have strong creative instincts usually have a very strong sacral chakra. Your solar plexus chakra, which is right here under the rib cage, is your action chakra. So it's really good always to have these two working together, because then you have all this beautiful divine inspiration, creative genius that is being put to effect and taking action. If you have a strong solar plexus and no sacral, then you take a lot of action, but you don't have the inspiration behind it. That's like people who do really well in sometimes corporate offices or military or things like that, where following instructions and working your way up is the power, whereas having the creative inspiration usually pushes you out. And people with the strong sacral but no solar plexus are usually those creative geniuses that never get anywhere. Probably, everyone's always saying, God, why can't they get that break? They're just like not making it happen. So you want to work with the two of them. The reason I mention this is because if we're listening with our sacral chakra, our gut instinct, and we're listening with our heart, the solar plexus then can work with the brain. That way you have the two energy centers working together to give each other support. Gut instinct and heart, driving workforce, and brain. That way your brain is being told what to do, and it can come up with great ways to make that happen so that your energy center, your action center is feeling fulfilled. Everyone likes to have a buddy. It's working with a friend makes the workload easier. So we give our work centers a friend to work with. What time is it? Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to segue into infusing. I forgot to mention about infusing your thoughts with love. The other week, when I channeled Mary Magdalene and Jesus, Mary Magdalene shared the first time she and Jesus ever met. And he was talking about thinking with your heart and sending the energy of your heart into your brain before you have a single thought. And I had never heard of that before. That was such a brilliant concept to me. This idea of not, my thoughts need to be healed with my heart or whatever, but just like always breathing energy into your heart and sending the energy up to your brain before you have a single thought. So all of your thoughts are filled with love energy. Like, can you imagine if everyone on the planet was filled with love energy before letting their thoughts come to fruition? How amazing would that be? So I've been practicing that. When I find myself thinking, 3D world, blah thoughts, I stop. And when I get like stressed by life or whatever, I just stop. I catch my breath, oxygenate my body, and I just like fill my heart with love. And then with my imagination, I send that love energy like a pink cloud on a breeze, filtering through my mind until like the inside of my head just feels light and tingly. And then I go back to the thoughts, and I find that the things that were frustrating me or stressing me or overwhelming me are now like, oh, okay, it's not that big a deal. And you know what? It's okay. And all these people around me, I love them so much. And, it's just a really great way to infuse yourself, lower the adrenaline, lower the anxiety. And also reevaluate how you're managing your internal being. You know, I have a tendency to give myself a to-do list that requires nonstop multitasking and nothing going wrong. And of course, I forget to give myself time to eat or take a break or whatever. And then I run behind schedule and I'm like, oh no, I can't get everything done. I'm the worst. You know, like, and, you know, so then I'm like, whew, okay, let's reevaluate this. Do I really need to accomplish all of this? Can I hand anything off to anyone? How much of this is absolutely necessary? And perhaps when I get through all the necessary stuff, I can reevaluate how I'm managing my life and connecting with the people around me. And it really changes. It makes it so much easier to say, oh, I have enough tasks for my day. I don't need to take any more. I don't need to keep overloading myself. Oh, another necessary task is coming to me. Then I'm going to release one. So if this is at the top importance, what on my list is at the bottom of importance? Okay. Either someone else can do that, or it doesn't get done, or I'll do it another time. Like, oh, well, that's better. And when I talk with people, it helps me be active and not reactive. So if someone says something that triggers anxiety or stress or whatever within me, because I'm filling myself with love, when they say that, as soon as their words come here towards my brain, I go, oh, that's one of those things that triggers me. So why does that trigger me? That's interesting. Well, I'm going to send love to this person. I'm going to send love to myself. And at some point, I might think about why it triggers me. But for now, I'm only going to respond to the actual words or the actual intention and not have an automatic response, you know. So by filling my heart with love and sending the love to my brain, it really helps me to see reality as something out there, not something constantly invading in here. Reality. Is that the right word? The existence around me, daily life. So I challenge you all to practice that a bit. Filling your heart with love. Just take a moment and breathe love in and let it flow up and fill your brain. Whenever you are thinking anything that is below the frequency of love, take a moment, fill your mind with love. Bring that love in through your heart. So it's your love, not some amorphous love. And then see like how that affects things. It may take a few tries, you know. And this takes us to, I was teaching a PranaShakthi for global healing class with the amazing Patty Hagen. And one of the things we were talking about is when you do like really amazing high vibrational work, like you go on a great meditation or you do a powerful healing or something amazing happens and your frequency goes up there. Or if you're in a class and the teacher just sets energetic space so everyone is able to join the teacher with that. But then when you try it at home, you're like, it doesn't work at home. A lot of teachers don't understand about, because it just happens naturally, so they don't think to teach, you know. So I'm not slamming any teachers. This is a very subtle subject I'm giving you. But a lot of them don't think about the fact that when they set sacred space and everyone is flowing on their energetic waves, they're not teaching people how to get there themselves. And, you know, sometimes there's a reason for that. You know, if you teach people how to get their own energy there, then, oh, class is over. We didn't have time to do what we wanted. So, you know, it's not, there's no judgment on there. Just a lot of people don't really teach that. So I'm going to teach that now so that the next time you're in a class or a meditation and they are taking you someplace amazing, or doing a great like chakra healing meditation, or a past life regression, or, connect with your angelic guides. And you're like, oh, I want to do this again. You need to adjust the frequency within yourself to the frequency of what you're connecting with. This will also help you from spacing out in meditations. Because, sometimes you're like, you're with them, and then you're like off someplace, you don't know where. And then they sort of catch you on the way back down, and you're suddenly like, oh, I don't know how much I missed up here, but I'm connected again, and you're with them going down. So when you are aware of your internal vibration, and you feel the vibration that you're riding on, match your internal vibration, your frequency, to what you're connecting with, and you can stay much longer. It takes practice. It takes designated focus. I go to meditation circles where the people who lead the circles are like amazing. So this is like a challenge that, like, oh, now I'm good at it. No problem. Like, then you go to someone higher vibe and you're like, whoa, all over again. Let's do it. So yes. Oh, great words, Bon, but how do I do it? So imagine this. And it's all with imagination, of course. Imagination is wonderful. Imagination is the vessel that allows us to connect with our friends and our environment. It's imagination that allows us to do things like bending silverware with very, very little effort, just like the touch of your hands. Because you imagine you can, and then reality reshapes itself to meet your imagination. The amazing dolphin sound healing shamanist Suzanne Weber, I think it's SUZANNEWEBER. Google her. She's amazing. And she has awesome, like, audios, very healing audios on her website you can listen to. She posted something on Facebook the other week. God, I need to like save it on my desktop. She had said something like, your imagination is so powerful. You have the ability to create a life for yourself, whether you want that life or not, basically. She was like, if whatever you have in your life, you create it. I'm going to paraphrase because I cannot say her words exactly, but I'll find them and share them with you in the quote section, in the comments section. Whatever life you have, you manifested this. You created this. If it's not the life you want, you are so powerful that you even created something for yourself that you have no interest with. Think about, you're not the victim of your life. You are the creator of your life. And if you want a different life, you have the ability to create that different life. It's, her quote is a lot better. It sounds a lot less blaming the victim, a lot less judgy than the way I'd said it. I will get that and put in the comments section. Then you'll go, oh, that's so much better than what Bonita said. But here's the thing. When you're matching your frequency to the frequency of what you want, imagine this. You're coming home from, I don't know, work or school. It was not a pleasant day. Everyone got yelled at. You're bringing home a bunch of work that has to get done. Traffic is really bad. You're low on gas, but you think you can make it home, but traffic is really bad. And everyone's honking horns. You can feel the stress and anxiety everywhere. Plus, you had to skip lunch. So you're like super hungry. You got that hangry thing going on and a headache. And you're just like ready to cry from the day. And then you get home and there is everyone you love there with this amazing banquet of your favorite food. And there are like puppy dogs and kittens and little bunny rabbits and little baby chicks all running around, and you just like lie down and these sweet animals are crawling all over you, licking you while you're eating like one of your favorite foods, and all the people who love you are like having a great time and they're all here for you. And you're like, oh, that's better. I want puppy dogs licking my face all the time. But you feel a different frequency. When you are in the frequency that is lower than that which you desire, it takes a lot of focus, skill development, practice to keep your frequency where you want it within yourself. And that's where the breathing love into yourself, letting the love flow through you, can come in really handy. You know that when someone is really stressed, if you react stressed, they'll be like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. And now you're coming at me too. And you're like, no, I'm reacting to you. You know, get rid of the reaction and be within your own action. And then when someone's all stressed and like, Arr! And you're like, look, oh, I feel so good when I'm around you. Thank you. You're my oasis in this place today. So, you know, you don't need to react to everything. Although I'm telling you, it takes, you know, practice to be in a highly stressed area and be the one that's flowing and non-reactive. And that also means releasing the triggers and doing self-healing, and, you know, which I have videos on in there. There's one about use your ego to heal your heart and manifest the life you want. I have a couple of them. But when you are in a place that's really good and everything is wonderful and you're just like flowing around, it's so good. And then you go back to your life and suddenly you feel anxious or depressed. Like for me, you know, I'm a retired chef and my specialty was opening new kitchens, creating programs. So sometimes, you know, I had like, you know, thousands of people I would be presenting to, and, you know, hundreds to 1,000 people working under me as we're creating new culinary programs. And so it was like a lot of intense pressure, which I personally thrive on. So I'd go for months on end, just like being a maniac, making sure that this kitchen we open is going to get global recognition, which they always did. And then the kitchen would be open. It's running well. We're in the, you know, the first 3 weeks go through. And finally I get to have a little time off. I would go home and I would sit in my chair and I would feel empty. And my first thought is, I need to get a new project. I need to have something going to put meaning in my life. Because I had been running on that so long, I didn't have any internal vibration. I only had coasting on the external vibration. So I would be in my life and, you know, sure, I have plenty of friends who would love to say hello if I called them. When I tell them I'm between projects, they're like, oh, yay, let's get together. But I would be like so anxious and depressed and overwhelmed and just like empty because I wasn't managing my energy. So I wouldn't call any friends and I wouldn't sleep at night. Like I slept great at night while running kitchens, taking a week off for myself. It would be like suicide watch. I was so depressed and anxious. So anyway, I haven't lived that life for a while, obviously, because it wasn't healthy for me. It wasn't. But how was I saying? If I had learned to manage my frequency, then when I get to the calm times, I wouldn't think of them as empty. I wouldn't have this like, ooh, I'm super high up here, all this energy, it's crazy, and then relax and boom, I wouldn't have that big drop. So if you have any sudden drops in your life, or if you have that the moment you go to sleep at night, or you're lying in bed ready to go to sleep, that's when all the anxiety hits you. That's when all the unnecessary thoughts come in. This is all about managing your energy. I'm not saying controlling your energy. It's about managing it, directing it, giving it permission to flow this way or to do that or to increase. It's a skill. You know, chakra alignment meditations are really good for this. I know I've been promising to do some, and this summer when we're on the road, I'll have time to do those because I won't be working so much. But if you find yourself able to do something only when you're with other people, feel within yourself what the feeling is, and make sure that the experience you're having, the energy in your core being, is matching that. So then when you leave the experience, you don't have the sudden drop back to your energy. I hope that makes sense. That's a great way to also like carry your vacation energy back to your workday. It's a great way to help you get yourself into alignment, to do a meditation on your own that you do when someone else leads it. It's a great way to also be aware of what resonates within your being. And when you feel overwhelmed or tired or depressed or anxious, to be able to look in yourself and say, where is this coming from? And send it love and healing and release. So that's it. Please subscribe to my channel. I know Jesus has been chomping at the bit to come back through. So next week we'll do some more channeling. Also, I need to get a lot more subscribers to this channel. Archangel Michael is, I don't know what his deal is, but he's like, he wants 10,000 subscribers before he comes through. And I'm like, oh, great. I've got like a few. But he needs the number 10,000 is meaningful to him. But, you know, until then we got the Elephant Collective, Jesus, Mary Magdalene, who else, you know. But White Shell Woman and White Buffalo Woman are also staying back till there's more. So have a great day. I adore you all. Take care, and check out the channel because I'm going to start putting a lot more like 3 to 5 minute videos on there as well. Thank you all. Bye.